Alright guys, if you've been watching the channel for a while, you know that there's a lot of cryptocurrency content. During the live streams, AMAs, you might have been able to get some investment advice out of me. I try to stay away from price discussions, what to buy, what not to buy. But I do feel comfortable giving general investment advice. So I'm going to be making a string of videos, like a series, basically giving investment principles, general advice that I like to follow, things that I look at before I invest. I'm not going to cover everything in this video. That's why I'm doing a series. In this video, I'm going to cover about just 3 topics briefly, and let's just get straight into it. These type of videos should be helpful to everybody, whether you're investing in Bitcoin, Panther Swap, or Cosmos. These should help, or the stock market, or gold. This should help. These should be very helpful videos. Okay, so the first rules. Now these aren't my rules. The first rule is a little bit something I created. I'm not the first guy to ever say this before though. Most of the rules, you can find them in books. You can find them in life if you open your eyes and pay attention. And there are plenty of people who will tell you the same things I'm about to tell you. I am going to share with you guys books that help investing and help just with financial success. I don't have those books right now, but in future videos I'll do that. Okay, so the first principle I wanted to share with you guys is to think for yourself and to always act in your own best interest. Alright, you always got to think for yourself. I know I'm here making videos telling you guys stuff, but you need to verify everything that I say, and you need to question everything that I say and question everything you hear other people say. Especially when it comes to finances and markets and business, there's always going to be someone on the other side of the table, on the other side of that deal, that is thinking about themselves, and they're going to try to make the best moves for themselves. So in life, it's always good to be a good person. It's always good to be charitable. It's always good to think about others. But you also need to think about yourself. If you're not thinking about what the best plan of action is for yourself, you got to believe that somebody else is. And that other person, when it comes to markets and finances, is going to do better. Now, the stock market and markets in general are not zero-sum games. We can all win. We can all benefit. But when there's a buy and there's a sell, there's someone on either side of that. And in general, you got to think for yourself. Well, you always need to think for yourself, but in general, you need to act in your own best interest. Now, your own best interest might also be supporting a project or supporting a network. So if you buy Ethereum and you think for yourself and you come to the conclusion that if I mine Ethereum, if I buy some graphics cards and I mine, then that will support the Ethereum network, and in turn it will support my Ethereum investments. And so I am thinking in my best interests while also helping the network. So sometimes your best interests are going to line up with other people's interests, other projects' interests. Sometimes if you have any enemies, sometimes your enemies become your friends because you have the same interest, right? Now this is just kind of general advice. The main thing is you guys need to be thinking for yourselves, only trust yourself, and act in your own best interest. In general in life, this is not always true. No one's looking out for you. No one's thinking about you. You have to think about you, and you have to make the best decision for you. Okay, so let's move on from that one. The second advice, everyone's probably heard this one before, but I try to take it even a step further. Never invest what you aren't willing to lose. So if you put $50 into the S&P 500 or into Apple, if you're not willing to watch that $50 vaporize into nothing, then you should have never invested it. Especially when it comes to things like the cryptocurrency markets. I've been invested in cryptocurrency for at least 5, 6, 7, 8 years. And I watched, in 2017, I watched all my cryptocurrency investments lose 90% of their value. So we're talking $5,000 to $500. I held out the whole time. The only reason I was able to hold and make it into 2021 with my investment still intact is because I did not invest more than I can lose. So when those investments went down the drain, then I didn't need to sell them. Now there's other factors that play into that, which is one of my next topics is research. You have to research what you invest in. You have to be comfortable with your investments. Just because you're willing to burn the money, so let's say you adhere to that first step and you don't invest more than you're willing to lose. And so let's say you put $50 into Bitcoin. Well, your emotions are going to change, especially with investments. So you need to rely on research and facts. Because when your investment goes from $100 to $10, your emotions are going to overpower a lot of other things. So that's why you need to have that bedrock of research. So when my cryptocurrencies lost 90% value, two things kept me in the game. One, I never invested more than I was willing to lose. Two, research. I understand cryptocurrency. I understand the potential. I understand the future. If I invested in some weed stocks on Robinhood, I bought Aurora Cannabis, I really don't know anything about Aurora Cannabis. I think people are going to smoke cannabis for the rest of time. But Aurora Cannabis and the laws and the countries and the jurisdictions, that's all up in the air. So if you go invest in something risky like a weed stock and it starts tanking and you didn't do the research, you're not going to feel comfortable in that investment any longer. So never invest what you're not willing to lose. Two, you got to do a lot of research. And here's the other thing. Most people don't know how to do research. So that's like that's like a college course or something. The first thing I said is the best step towards knowing how to do research. Don't believe anybody, question everything, trust only yourself, act in your own best interest. To do real research, you need to be able to determine truth from fiction. That's a whole different video. 99% of people can't do that. Okay, the last thing I want to cover in this general investment principle is you got to pay yourself first. Let's say you have a job, or let's say you're making passive income off of your investments. No matter where your income is coming from, you need to pay yourself first. All right? I know we have bills. I know we have a whole list of things that our money has to go to, or we end up on the streets, or maybe even in a jail cell. Who knows? Maybe you got to pay Visa, you're in debt to somebody. We all have bills and debts and things to do with our money. Groceries, all the things we got to buy, right? But you should be the top of that list. Even before, this is also budgeting. This isn't going to be possible if you don't know how to budget your finances. But this is the first step towards budgeting. So even before you're paying your bills, and I know this sounds kind of weird because if you got bills to pay, you got to pay your bills. But if you're in this situation, it means you have not been responsible with your finances this far. Before you're paying bills, you should be paying, the first bill you pay is to yourself. If your job pays you $500 a week, you should pay yourself $50 straight into the savings account, straight into under your bed, or if you buy gold with it, I don't know, you decide. The first thing you need to do with your income is pay yourself with 5 to 10% of that income. Now you're going to have to come up with the percentages yourself. Maybe you're already in a position when you're in huge credit card debt. Maybe you need to get out of that debt before you can pay yourself. Everyone's situation is different. But talking to somebody who's a blank financial slate, who can only build up from here, you need to pay yourself first. Always pay yourself first. So those are my my quick general investing principles. Obviously there's a million more, and I'll be making more videos to address those. I appreciate you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. We have links all over the place in all the different videos. There's ways to support what I'm doing. I appreciate all the support. I appreciate everybody for watching the videos. We're going to be doing a lot more content like this that's not focused around a specific project, but just focused around finances. We're going to be doing a podcast that has to do with the markets. It's going to be called Market Watch. Keep an eye out for that. I want to do interviews. I want to do all kinds of different things. So keep an eye on the channel. You're going to get more content like this, more content that you've already been seeing. And I hope you guys have a good one today. Thank you.